Well, good morning YouTube. We're back at the shop and we have more stuff to do to the shop today.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan and this is The Stub. This is our dealership, NG Supercars. And we bought this building a couple months ago and it's getting ready for its grand opening on October 7th, but it's not quite there. So first of all, when we bought this thing, it was less than desirable condition. Yeah, that light's gotta go. Oh, it's stabilizing. It needed a lot of work, and we spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of work on it. And unfortunately, because this thing wasn't in great condition, it's got some water leaks. So, you know, it's a metal building. It wasn't built to the highest of standards. Water's leaking. So we're gonna try and resolve some of the water issues today. We're getting there. We've got a lot of them under control, but we're still not quite fully there. So let me show you what's going on. Of course, we're gonna work on other stuff too. So we've got the other guys still working on all the drywall, and we're trying to get that set. Once we get the kitchen ready, we can start installing cabinets and countertops and have an actual kitchen. Okay, so the first big problem is water comes in underneath this door. You can see how it's dirty, and then the dirt goes that way, all the way over there. So basically, this whole floor is sloped that way, which is actually good because then it just kind of heads up that way. We can just push it right out the door. Problem is that it pools here. We'll go outside and take a look at that in a second. Once it starts pooling there, it actually leaks in a little bit under the wall right here, and it leaked under the wall in the corner, and it leaked in the wall under the wall back there. So all of those need to be resolved. Those are kind of problems, but we have a few other things going on. So first of all, you can see right here there's some water spots that actually dripped right through there. There was another water spot that leaked right here. I remember seeing this leaked right here, so like right up there. So we're gonna have to fix that one. And then the worst leak of all was right here. So we actually put a bucket underneath it. It's right where the two seams meet. So I don't know exactly where, but we'll have to measure how many feet over and then try and figure out how to prevent that from leaking. And I think that's pretty much most of the ceiling leaks. There was a tiny little leak right here, so it's got to be at one of the seams up there, so we'll have to resolve that. And then there was another leak over on that side, and we'll get to that one in a minute. Okay, so here's the outside of the door, and here's the problem with the door. So starting about halfway through the driveway all the way over to here, it has a down slope, and it is the lowest point right here. So basically it forms a giant pool of water right here. You can see all the dirt that, you know, from the water that evaporates. So that's kind of a problem. What we're thinking we're gonna have to do is, so we got this gasket and it's only like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch tall. I ordered a 2-inch tall one that we're gonna stick on there and really seal it very well. Now I don't think the water came up 2 inches. That seems really unlikely. So we'll try and see if we can get that figured out so it's maybe handling that a little better. The other problem, of course, is we have this trough trench drain or whatever. I don't think it's draining very well. I mean, ultimately the biggest problem with this thing is there's basically zero slope from where this starts to where it ends. That's gonna be a nightmare to try and figure out. We'd have to dig it out really far. I tried putting a bunch of rocks here and dirt and everything to kind of contain it on that side. That seemed to actually help. And you'll see the problem is originally that gutter, well, there's sun, there you go. That gutter right there was pointing straight down, and it was basically just dumping right on the side of the building, and all that water came in right here. So I actually moved that gutter to be at an angle. That made a huge difference right here. But it still ended up overflowing that gutter, so we'll have to seal it a little better, figure out what's going on with that, and see if we can't take care of that a little better. But the other problem is now the water runs really hard down here. You can see that it kind of like excavated the soil right here. So it's basically like running off and going past this gutter. So I'm gonna put up these little dams that I have and get it to stay in the gutter. That should help it. And you can see like all of this dirt just flowed right down and packed into that drain. So we got to dig out that drain again. Now back here we have another issue, which is, of course, we have this stupid hill. I wish it wasn't here. I think to dig this out would be extremely painful, expensive. We'd have to rent like a backhoe. It would take forever. So I don't think that's the solution. But all the water is kind of pooling up here. And when it pools up, unfortunately, it leaks underneath the building. So it's not doing, these drains are not doing a very good job. Now, this did help. I put this extension right here, and I put that extension right there. And that made a tremendous difference. The water flowing out was just massive amounts of water. So I think what we're gonna have to do is probably cut that higher and then run it way out there so it drains way out there, and cut that one up very high and have it run all the way across the building, all the way out there, and have it dump out there pretty far. If we do that, now I think you're only getting the runoff from the rain hitting this hill. I think we would probably be able to manage it with just this trench drain. So at least that's the theory. So I think that's what we're gonna have to do, is cut this guy up there, reposition it, and then have it run really far. Sound like a plan? Good. All right, YouTube, so you can see we added some shields. Now this one, so water was flowing off this thing, so I put one here to hopefully deflect it into the gutter, but you can see I put like 5 or 6 of these guys right here. This should help a lot of the water that's just running off really fast, especially from that downspout. Will kind of hit these and then fall into the gutter. Now what we need to do next is get those gutters run way out there over onto past the side of the building. I think that will help a tremendous amount, so that the water is then just getting out of the way, and then we won't have this thing fill up as much. Also, I shoveled out a bunch of the dirt, so at least it's not like covering this thing and totally saturated with dirt. We still have to figure out the leaks in the ceiling, which we'll work on, and then we probably need to like do something with this gutter up there, because it's probably jammed up pretty hard. Although it was coming down into that downspout pretty effectively, so maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. Although I think it overflowed at some point, because water was spilling out basically like onto that camera right there. And then, like I said, we have a 2-inch tall rubber gasket thingy right there, so that's supposed to be in a week or two. We'll get that sealed up. The good news is we don't see any rain in the forecast for at least a week. So worst case scenario is we're gonna have to actually hire the paving company to come back out and maybe build up and have it slope this way and that way. That would suck if we have to do that.